So let me just see if I can post this here. Let me turn off my Bluetooth so that speaker wouldn't. Bluetooth disconnected. Bluetooth disconnected. Okay, so let me put it on here. Hopefully we can get some viewers going on. That telestream is horrible. Okay. So we see it's working. We have a viewer here. And we're gonna try to go through this as quickly as possible because I was late. And we're gonna try to run through this quick. So how's it going, guys? Thank you for joining this live feed where I sit down and talk to you guys about the topics that I set out on my Facebook. And if you guys follow my Facebook, you guys can see the topics are pretty much something that I get asked a lot. I get asked probably on a daily basis, or every time I post something new, somebody asks me or sends me a private message. And it's a topic that a lot of people don't know about, and it's, you know, it's something that I think it would be cool to share. But for now, let's give you guys an update on the studio for now, before we get into the big topics here. I have a lineup here of new cars that I've acquired throughout these couple months that I haven't been posting on YouTube. I've been focusing on my degree. I'm a web designer, interactive media, and graphic designer. So what that says is there's a lot of hard work involved, coding, designs, brainstorming, and I am horrible, as you can see, on designs. That's my logo. It's simple and it's to the point. RCM, radio control motion. Is, you know, I am horrible at design, but I have a design major, which is ironic in a way. The chat is open. If you guys have any questions, you guys can start asking. It should be open. Let's see. Yeah, let me write a message here. Welcome all. Ask questions. There it is. The chat should be open if you want to go ahead and start chatting and ask questions, and I can answer them to the best of my abilities, of course. But I'm going to show you guys a lineup of stuff that I've recently either traded or purchased in these past few months while I was still, you know, focusing on school and work and whatnot. So to start off, I am a web design major and interactive media. So I'm still in school. I graduate this month in about 2.5 weeks. So I graduate this month. I get my degree in web design, and I am trying to find a firm to start off with. And it's been going good. The hunt is on, so I have to build my portfolio so that way, you know, designers can see it every now and then. But in the meantime, in between doing school, coding, and, you know, my daily responsibilities as a parent, as a husband, as a man of the house, and so there's a lot of involvement there. But you know, I do this for pure entertainment. I do it as a hobby. It's like anybody else who has a hobby. Guns, cars, you do it on the side as a hobby. You know, you collect cars, you know, RC cars, or if you fly, you collect planes, and so on. So this is just pure entertainment for me. I enjoy it. This is what I like doing. And it's something that, you know, puts my mind at ease. So I'm going to show you guys the lineup here quick. This is a YJ. If you guys follow my Instagram, most of this is going to be irrelevant to you guys, but this is more for the guys that follow my YouTube channel and haven't seen much of me, but several videos that I have posted. You guys already saw the SEX-10-2 make its maiden trail run, and it went pretty good, except for a few things that fell off, but I have to fix that. But it crawled perfect, amazing. The trail trekker motor is one to have, and it performed amazing. So This one on my Instagram, you guys saw how I traded this one and how it came. The interior, I made the full interior is made out of styrene. Made the windows as well. The windows are made out of some thin plexiglass I found at Lowe's, and the paint is some Walmart Testors paint. So it's like a bright green, and I have some aggressive, tires there, and it's just for pure looks because I don't run it. Oh, on the rear I have these 3D printed sand ladders, if you want to call them sand ladders. And pretty much I did the whole interior. The rear is held by magnets because I really didn't want to run body posts here. I did leave the ones in the front because I really did not want to cover those holes just in case. I really don't want this body flopping around because of the magnets. So strong magnets in the back, posts in the front. I can eliminate that afterwards, but for now it's gonna stay like that. I traded an RC for this one here. This is an HPI Blitz. It's a 2-wheel drive, pretty sweet. Already put my little stamp on it, and I really like it. It just brought back some memories when I used to race 2-wheel drive in California. So I said, you know what, I'll trade it. I like it, and it's here. It's just I ran it several times. It has a Castle Creations 3800, and it's real fast. I did maintenance the drivetrain in the back, the transmission, and re-greased it. Did all that good stuff, and it hooks on real nice. Complaining about racing. So if I get into the racing scene again, this is the one truck that I'm going to take. Suspension is pretty dialed in, real nice. But this was a trade. The body is a Parma body, and pretty much that's it. It was traded by my friend Rick Lozano. I have here this little Team Associated, I believe. It's like a TC3, TC4. And it's just a little all-wheel drive, pretty much speedster. Has a little scale motor here in the front. But it's something that I thought it was pretty cool, and I added it to the collection. This you guys might have seen on my Instagram channel, where I built it for my friend Rick. Turns out Rick, he said he ran it probably once, and he just lost interest in the rally. But because, I built it for him, he thought about me. He says, you got anything to trade? I said, sure, I got crawlers. And he was looking for crawlers. I have a lot of crawlers that sometimes I don't use. So I traded him the crawler for this, and now it's here. So it's pretty cool. And it's funny because I built it, so I guess it's back here, back home, if you want to put it that way. But yes, I did pretty much the whole entire build. I tried to record it for you guys, and I know you guys saw it, but all my footage was lost. I just recently had to replace my hard drive with a solid state drive on my laptop because the last one just poofed on me. So that sucked because I lost a lot of footage. I lost a lot of pretty much everything, software and everything. So I had to reinstall. That's why I was having issues with the live stream, because I used to use Flash Media Encoder. Turns out that I don't have it on this one, so I had to download the encoders that YouTube offers, like Cam Twist or something like that. So I installed that one, but I was having a hard time, and the quality, it dropped the quality. Excuse me, it dropped the quality real bad. So I showed you guys these, and now I'm going to show you the one I've been working on for a minute, and you guys are witness to this because I did post up when I got all the parts. There's still wires because I haven't installed anything. It's pretty much bare bones. You guys were a witness of this truck here. When I purchased all the parts, the chassis, the upgrades, the axles, the drive shafts, the links, pretty much everything you guys saw on this chassis. And my initial plan was to sit the Blazer body from RC 4-wheel drive on this chassis. But the problem I was having was that the bed part would hit on these shock towers, and I really did not want to cut this chassis. I really did not want to alter it. There's a reason why Gabriel Fleming made it this way. So I'm pretty sure people have chopped it to probably make like a cantilever setup or something like that. But I didn't want to do that. So I eliminated the possibility of putting that body on top of here. And I went to an event, and in that event, one of our local group members, he got a body in a trade. And, I was playing around and I was like, oh man, you got the body, I wanted it. But I was just, oh, my speaker's powering down. So I told him, I was playing around, so we just left it like that. At the end of the day, he comes up, he goes, here, you can have the body. I was like, no, I was playing around. He's like, no, it's gonna just sit down in the shop, and I'm not gonna get any use for it. I know you can build something out of it. So it was just the cab and the interior. That's all it was. It was a white cab, the same black interior, and that was it. So I came to thinking, after watching a couple videos online, on Dakar trucks. I don't know if you've seen Dakar trucks, Dakar or Dakar, whatever you want to call it. I'm pretty sure it's Dakar. But those trucks they're made for like rally. So I thought to myself, why don't I just build one? And that's what happened here. I still have to put all the decals, a lot more aesthetics. I still have to put some mirrors, and I'm planning about putting some tubing up here up front. All the tubing around the box is welded and is 3/16 and 1/8. The rear, where the tires are being held, are pretty much 1/8. So these are 1/8. These are 3/16, I believe. Yeah. So I built the whole box using this, and I know you guys have seen it in the past. This one's real dirty because I use it for maintenance. But this is pretty much plastic board. They sell this at your local like hobby store, like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, that kind of store, and at Lowe's as well. They sell that. So I went and I wrapped it around, cut it, wrapped it around. A lot of hot glue in the inside, but the hot glue holds up pretty good because I create like a little belt kind of on the rod itself, and I'll go probably like 1.5 or 2 inches next over, so that way it creates a good tough bond. So I did that. The last part I installed was last night, was this one too many RC light bar. And like I said, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys already seen this. So the beadlock rings, they were 3D printed by me. I 3D printed these, and then I painted them orange to match the overall theme. So this was my latest build. This is the last one that I have for this winter, or fall/winter. So I still have another one in the workshop. I haven't shown that one to anyone yet, but it's kind of like this one, pretty scale, similar to the SSD axle, but it's the Trail Stomper chassis. I have it on leaf springs. I just finished the shocks not too long ago. So that's pretty much the update. I did purchase something else, which I'm pretty sure you guys have already saw, but here I have the DJI Phantom 3, the standard version. It has, I think, like a 2.4K, 2.4K or 2.7K camera on it. It has the gimbal. Yeah, it's pretty good drone. And this is the one I purchased to kind of start some aerial photography stuff. I know it's been picking up on my channel, so that is the reason I started another channel or another page on Instagram called RCMotion_aerial, like aerial photography. And I opened up that channel or that page, and it's been picking up a lot of interest. A lot of people are liking my videos, my images, and they think it's pretty cool. And the drones is gonna pick up here within the next 10 years or so. They're just gonna be everywhere in the sky. And it's what brings me to the topics of sponsorships, branding, and pretty much partner network. So let's talk about the very important one first, which everybody pretty much wants to know: how do I get sponsored? And a lot of people think that if one person is sponsored, they can go to that person and say, hey, can you talk to somebody within your sponsorship and ask them if I can get sponsored. I buy their products. I buy their gear. I post them everywhere. Everywhere I go, I say, hey, buy here, buy there. Well, that's cool and all. And they're gonna like it because you're pretty much kind of sponsoring them for free. So you're really not getting anything in return. And that's what a lot of people want with a sponsorship. A lot of people want with a sponsorship is either discounts, free stuff, free gear, swag, recognition. So you get sponsored. How do you get sponsored? A lot of people ask me this on social media. How did you get sponsored? What did you do? Well, there's several tricks with sponsorships. Sponsorship can be for everybody and cannot be for everyone. So in a way, it's kind of like a second job. You have to put a lot of effort into it. You have to put a lot of hours. It's something that's tedious, and it's like a second job or a third job if you already have a second job. So how do you get sponsored? Well, a lot of people think that by branding and throwing out, certain brands. For example, here, you don't see anything on my table. You don't see anything on my walls. It's just me. That's my brand. You guys seen it. There it is on my back. You guys saw it on my truck. Right there on my truck. That's my brand. Okay? That's branding in a nutshell. Branding will bring you into a sponsorship, or just you putting in the work will bring you into a sponsorship. There's two ways of seeing it. You can take branding and make a name for yourself and get sponsored, or you can just put in all the work, get recognized by that company or by several companies, and then you can get sponsored that way. We've seen it in many YouTubers. RCMilitia, for example, Jeremy. Heavy Storm, Urban RCLA. All these guys that have thousands of subscribers, they did it by creating a brand. And that brings me into the branding section of it. So with branding there's two types of branding, just branding yourself or branding sponsorship. Now, a lot of people on the internet, they will do branding sponsorship. Branding sponsorship is, let's say, for example, duct tape. I'm not sponsored by duct tape, but I want to be. So in every video that I make, I'm going to put a duct tape somewhere, just so they can see that I'm using their duct tape. So that's branding right there. You're just branding their brand on your videos. You're not sponsored, you're just branding their gear. Like this FPV from Spectral. I just have it there. They see it. See what I'm saying? So with branding is real tricky, because branding, you need to stick to kind of one brand in a way. I have several brands that I shop from. I do it online, I shop online, I go to different websites, different hobby shops, and it's not something that my channel revolves around. I do not revolve around one brand. If one brand I would have to choose with cars, well, you would see it's Axial. There's no other brand besides Axial right now in my collection, I guess, outside of crawlers. On-road cars, there's, multiple options. Here's one right now. You can see there's no specific brand here. Now, what does it mean to be sponsored, or what does it mean to either have your own brand or brand sponsorship? Well, there's two things that sponsors always look for. And they always look for you to expand their brand, pretty much get it out there, do something with their brand. If you come up to me and say, hey, I want to get sponsored, I buy this product, this product, this product. Well, what's the value behind that product? What are you doing with that product? For example, if I wanted to be sponsored by, let's say, Gabriel Fleming, G-Speed, he sells, these chassis, these lower gravity or center of gravity chassis, lower center of gravity chassis. If I wanted to get sponsored, what work do I have to show, hey, I want you to sponsor my next build? Oh, well, he's going to ask me, what builds have you made with my chassis that show me the value that you have or that you can bring for me to sponsor you? I'm going to be like, yo, look at this. Have you seen this? This is a bill. And that's the value behind that brand. Axio as well. What have you done? Well, look, I do this, and so on. And that's what companies look for. They look for value. They look for, what are you going to do with their product? How will you turn their product around for them to either one, sell more, two, gain more popularity, and three, be recognized, among events or different locations. So with sponsorship, like I said, there's a lot of responsibility. You have so many postings you have to make. You have to, constantly take pictures, do YouTube videos and whatnot. So with that being said, branding, well, let's go into the other topic that I had said, partner network. There's another way to expand either your brand or pretty much, if you want to get sponsored. Partner network is a good way. There used to be a thing called multi-channel network. YouTube abolished that months ago, and now there's, they can't have any more multi-channel networks. So multi-channel networks are pretty much smaller networks within a big network. So for example, in our network, when I was part of the Radio Control Network, well, we were part of a bigger network called Ben Pixels, and Ben Pixels was our mother, and we were like the little babies, So it's a good way to get your brand out there, because within the network, the partner network, you're gonna get your name out there. You're gonna be, getting your name into many places. For example, myself, I've never thought I'd be sponsored by Max Amps, and that helped out. But at the same time, like I said, it's like a second job. They require you to, you have to give an update. What have you done with our product? What have you done with this? For example, another example, the One Too Many RC light bar. Well, this one's a sponsored one, and this one was specifically for this bill. Okay, I used it, finally used it. Okay, so it was a sponsored light bar, and now it's in the works, already mounted, ready to go, ready to power up through the night. And that's what they want to see. That's what they're investing their money in. You see, sponsorship. Several. I've spoken to several RC companies, and several of them have a certain sponsorship budget that they can allow for that whole entire sponsorship, or for the sponsees, meaning the members of the sponsorship. And usually they can go with a budget, and say, we're putting our money towards this, but we're not seeing anything from you. So in a way, the networks help with that. So the networks, you go through like a middleman before they go to the sponsoring company. So that sponsoring company is going to go to the middleman goes to you, and then you have to pretty much produce and show. And you guys seen on my channel, I've done several videos on sponsorship builds and whatnot, and it's gone well. And it comes with branding in a way. Same thing that I explained earlier about sponsorship branding and what does it entail. So you already know sponsorship branding is just having the product there or just showcasing it. With branding, branding yourself, you want to make a name for yourself. For example, RC in Motion. It was something I came up with, I'd say a couple of years ago, and it was, I don't know, it was something that just came out, and it was radio control in motion, and I took it, and that's what it's been with. I've been with it for several years now, and it's something that I branded, radio control in motion, RC in motion. A lot of people know me. A lot of people don't know me. A lot of people, they'll see me out, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're that guy." Yeah, sure, I'm that guy. And it's something that I did for myself. Okay, I went, I built my audience, and I branded my name. So now my name is on a sticker. but yeah, it's a start. So with branding comes something you want to do before you actually go asking that question. How do I get sponsored? How do I get into a partner network? How do I do this? How do I do that? You want to build your audience with sponsorships, with branding, with pretty much everything. You want to build your audience. So online, for example, you build your audience as much as you can. Now, you got to be wise when you want to get sponsored. You have to think in mind the company that you want to be sponsored by, and you have to stick to that. If you don't stick to that and you stray away, then they're not going to see the work that you put. Perfect example. Joshua from RC Everyday. Okay, RC Everyday. He does a lot of crawler builds. He does a lot of scale crawler. Amazing builds. And all the products he uses are RC four-wheel drive products. Now, he's been doing it for years, obviously. And all of his products, every video that you see is RC four-wheel drive. And they like that because their brand is out there and their brand is being noticed and their products are being used. So they're going to sponsor him. They're going to probably hit him up and say, hey, Joshua, we want you, to keep making videos. They're cool. You got a pretty decent audience. We're going to give you this much so you can, do videos and whatnot. And they'll give them probably a budget, or they'll give them products. It all depends on the company. The sponsoring company is going to give you either a budget or a products, whatever products. They're going to give you a monthly product. Every month they give you a different product. But you have to build your audience. You have to build your audience, make a brand for yourself. And the most important thing that sponsors love and enjoy is go to events. You can't be sponsored and just sit at home and build trucks. You have to have something to back it up, or build cars for that. I know there's a lot of on-road guys, probably rally guys, or even the drone guys, okay? Because you can get sponsored by DJI. I know a lot of people. For example, Casey, he's one of the top YouTubers. You should see how many drones he has. He has tons of drones. And they send him a new drone. He tests out a new drone. He tests out the GoPro drone. He tests out the DJI Mavic drone. And on his wall, he has tons of drones. So he's sponsored. They send him that stuff. He produces a video. They love it. His audience loves it. And he can get probably 1 million to, probably 2 million views on one video. So you have to build your audience. You have to build it. There's no doubt about you building your audience. Once you build your audience, you'll get recognized. This is an example that I'm going to set because this is the example that I always use everywhere I go. And it's with my Instagram page. My Instagram page picked up better than my YouTube page. My Instagram page now is about 8,200 followers. And these are followers that enjoy watching what I do. And it's pretty much, that's how I can put it. I don't do any cool builds. I don't do eccentric builds with popping doors and, opening hoods. I just do basic builds, paint, interior, kind of like this. You see, it's just a basic build, nothing too fancy, but they enjoy it. So 8,200 followers. And it took that type of audience in order for a company to see me and say, hey, we want to sponsor your builds. And that's what happened. And you guys have seen it. It took me probably 1.5 years to almost 2 to get sponsored. That's because every day I put work into it. A lot of companies were looking at me. Hey, can you review this RC for me? Can you do this? And they'll contact you. They will email you, and you have to put in the work. You want to get sponsored, build your audience. Okay. There's several, sponsorships is a way of seeing it a good thing. It's a way of seeing it a bad thing in a way. For me, it was half and half. And the reason I always tell everybody to brand themselves is because the company will come to you. For example, Hemistorm. Companies just come to him. Castle Creations, RC four-wheel drive, Proline, and you've seen it. He just left Castle Creation not too long ago on a trip just to paint a body, pretty much. He painted the body. They had some fun together and whatnot, and now they came out with a new censored motor, which is amazing. And you know, and I'm pretty sure Hemi Stone will get a crack at that. So he has an audience, he has a brand, he built his audience, he built his brand, and companies will come to you. Now there's several people that just want sponsorship quick. And the problem with that is that a lot of companies are just milking sponsorships. They will milk you for your content. They will milk you for your videos, for your posts. And that is not the way you should be sponsored. If you're willing to get the maximum out of the sponsorship, build a brand, build your audience, and then seek the sponsorship. Because with the sponsorship, you can sit there and say, okay, well, this is not going to work for me. I'm not going to show, you know, your product. They might give you a bigger budget. They might give you, you know, better products so you can showcase certain company, which I'm not going to mention. You know, when I asked for a sponsorship, they said we can give you a winch. So it all comes down to audience. It all comes down to making a brand, get your name out there, and get sponsored. A lot of people don't know this trick because they just want the free stuff, you know, and I learned this through the network. I learned this through, you know, talking to several actual sponsors, not in the RC community, but actually out in the real world sponsors. And, you know, I'll sit down every event I probably go to. It could be a car show. It can be Monster Jam, you know, and I talk to the sponsors. You know, if I wanted to get sponsored, boom, what can I do? What do I have to do? And it all comes down to that. Build your audience, build your brand, get sponsored. Now, if you do it backwards, you want to get sponsored immediately. The sponsor is just going to milk you. You're not going to see any beneficial gain out of it. You're not going to see anything. They're just going to use your channel. It doesn't matter if you have 400, 500, 1,000 subscribers like I do. I have probably 1,700. They're just going to milk you, and they're going to milk you, and they're going to milk you, and until your contract ends, and you're just going to be like, you know, what did I gain? Probably $100 or $50 worth of parts, you know, and it just comes down to that. You want to build your brand, start working. You have to put in work. And this is for the people that actually want to get noticed. Because if you're just like me, like an avid, you know, radio control enthusiast that really just likes to have fun, to be honest, video, the YouTube and you know, social media sometimes takes the fun out of it. That's why I've been out of the scene for a few on YouTube. And you know, I've been doing stuff like this. Look how cool. This is fun right here. It took me a while because I was constantly always just focused on YouTube. Oh, I gotta post a video, or I have to do this, I have to do that. You know, and it boils down to make a brand. It doesn't, you can be, there's several YouTubers, for example, all they do is high-speed runs. High-speed run, high-speed run. You know, people don't get tired of that. You see YouTube channels with probably 20,000 subscribers on just speed runs. I'm gonna do a speed run. Unboxing. You can find a channel on RC, on the radio control community of unboxings, and they'll have 100,000 subscribers, and all they do is unbox. But that's what brands them. There's a brand, you know, that his brand specifics might be unboxing. That's what he does. That's his brand. His name is, let's just make a fake name here, RC Unboxing. And there you go. You unbox. But you don't want to start immediately and go, you know, it's like a business in a way. A business, you have to put a certain budget aside. And you got to be, you know, patient. You put that budget aside, and then you just keep going up that ladder. And it's the same on YouTube. You have to risk a couple dollars. This, for example, this here was, you know, probably $600, but it's a budget that you put aside to get to a greater position. So non-sponsored, you put $600 on a non-sponsored RC card. Down the road, you get a free $600 sponsored drone. You see what I'm saying? So you have to put some type of income into it in order to get sponsored. But if you don't want to put any money into it, go ahead, get sponsored. And like I said, they're just going to milk you. They're just going to take your content. They're going to be in charge of pretty much your life. You have to post. And, you know, the benefit of the game is not there. You want to maximize your sponsorships. You want to build that audience. A sponsor loves probably over 20 to 30,000 followers, and you can do it. A lot of RC community guys, a lot of RC YouTubers have done it. They have, an audience of 400,000 to 20,000, 30,000, and that's what they like seeing. They like seeing a big audience. Build up your social media sites, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Now there's Snapchat for RCs, I guess. I haven't tried it, so there's a Snapchat for RCs as well. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and start up your social media pages. But like I said, it's going to be a second job in a way. So if you really, really want to get sponsored, you have to put work into it. Usually in a year, I put a budget aside of probably like $1,000 to $2,000. And with those $2,000, I'll buy either a new RC or I'll upgrade. Like for example, next year, I'll probably put aside a couple hundred or $100 in upgrades probably for this one, because there's no upgrades here. So I'll set aside a budget of $100. And what does that do? Every time you set a budget aside, it puts you on the spot for sponsorship. They're gonna see it, they like it, but you have to stick to that one brand. You can't go jumping around. If you like a certain website, a certain hobby shop, a certain brand, stick to that brand. Don't jump up and down, stick to that brand. You'll get noticed within that brand. Like I said, the bigger your audience, the better the sponsorship. That's how it's going to be. For example, Danny, the photographer, the one that does these wicked builds. I don't know if you guys saw his latest unboxing, but there's a lot of sponsorship items in there. I mean, I'm talking about 4 or 5 boxes worth of stuff from Proline, RC 4-wheel drive, you name it, it's all there. But it's because his audience, the audience that he's built, are really liking his content. And they see that and they want to push the brand. So build your audience. You build your audience, the brand will come through, the sponsorship will come through, and they're gonna like it. They're gonna eat it up. And it's 9 times out of 10, it's gonna happen. And I'm gonna tell you, because of personal experience, it's going to happen. So stick to that brand, like it, make it your brand, make it your source of your audience. Other YouTubers, they jump up and down on brands, but that's after they already have that audience gain. So for example, let's put an example, Axial. I have 2 years worth of audience just focusing on Axial stuff. In those 2 years, I can go to Axial and I'll be like, look, this is my brand, this is my content, this is a sponsorship I'm looking for. Well, they're gonna look at, they're gonna look at your channel, they're gonna look at your social media pages. They like the brand, they like it. They're gonna sponsor you. Now, within that sponsorship, after it's done and your audience is already built, you can switch and swap brands. I've seen so many YouTubers do it. They'll start with one company and then they'll end with another. So it's it's completely up to you how you want to take it. But as a word of advice, just don't go straight for the sponsorship first. It's going to ruin first your channel, and it's just they're just gonna milk you. It's the way that you want to build your brand, your audience, get sponsored. That's the way I see it. Now there's another type of sponsorship, which is the local sponsorship. Your local hobby shop. Once you build your audience, you can go to them and say, hey, I'm looking to get sponsored. I'm trying to make a video. What can you do, or what can you provide for the channel? I'm talking with personal experience. I went with that to my local hobby shop, and right now I have 3 projects in the workshop I still have to finish from my local hobby shop. Local hobby shops offer sponsorship. For example, Hobby Town. Well, when Hobby Town hit me up and they contacted me, I asked them, do you guys offer some type of store sponsorship? They told me, yes, we do. Go to your local Hobby Town, speak to the manager, and ask them what type of sponsorships they have. And you just go to the store and you just try to get sponsored with your local hobby shop. Hobbytown is, it's great. I've been going there for years. I know Jeremy has been going to Hobbytown, and in the past he's made videos of RCs that he got sponsored from Hobbytown. So it works. You just have to go out there. It's kind of like I said, it's going to be like a job. You have to go out, start your resume. Your resume is this. Pretty much this is your resume. You put it down in print. You can't put an RC car on a paper, but you can put it down in print. Content creator, whatever your brand's name is. On my resume, all this is on my resume. As a web designer, graphic designer, this is my brand in a way. So this is kind of like my second brand. My first brand, well, my actual business brand is for my web design and my graphic design. But my hobby brand, which is RC in Motion, it's in my resume, and it says YouTube content creator, YouTube partner, and admin and brand creator of RC in Motion, and all social media pages. So that's in my resume. You can put it on work resume. They'll like it. They'll eat it up. Oh, you know how to work a camera. You know how to edit, and you sometimes you don't even need a degree, and these people are gonna like it. But when it comes to branding yourself, you have to do it in that order. If you do it in that order, I guarantee you'll be successful. I took that advice from a fellow YouTuber, and it worked out. It worked out. Honest to God. Not in the way that I wanted, but it worked out. And now that I'm not sponsored, I chose to just eliminate all sponsors from my page. Any type of sponsorship, I'm just going to decline it at this time because I need to focus on other stuff. RCs is just pure hobby and fun for me. Once I get 100% of the time to RCs, I'll probably try to go for another sponsorship. But at the time, I don't want my channel being milked by a ghost, sponsorship. I need a sponsor to be active with the channel, actually, push the channel forward and not just try to milk the content from the channel for their beneficial gain. So, in a way, that's at least my way of saying it. You can hear it another way, and it's going to be like super professional. It's going to be, bigger words than what I use, sophisticated words, words that, I don't know, probably I don't even know, but you can find them in a dictionary or a thesaurus. I know that word, but that's the way it's going to work. If you want to be a successful sponsee and not just one to follow the crowd of getting sponsored, build your brand, build your name. As a perfect example, I help a young kid. He's in my friends right now. He's one of my friends on Facebook. He follows me. I follow him on Instagram. Galactic RC. Well, he started off with an initial name, but turns out that name was already branded by somebody else. So you see how it works. So it was branded by somebody else. So he changed his name to Galactic RC. He asked me the same question. I want to get sponsored. What do I do? I told him the exact same words. I said, build your audience, post content, post. If you have to post 9 times in a day, post. Sometimes I post once a day, twice a day, sometimes not even a day. There's no days or a week that I don't post anything. But the day I post something, I get probably 100 likes, 150, at times 200 likes if the content is amazing. So I told him the exact same words I'm telling you. I told him, I said, build your audience, build your brand, and then try to go for the sponsorship. He's now he's got several sponsors now. They're liking his stuff, and he does exactly like I explained today. He will brand it on. He will put a sponsorship branding on his content. For example, Gen Zs, they like him, and they're always posting his content. So he just kept racing like he does. He didn't focus on trying to show, either what he was doing, or he focused on what he liked. He liked doing RC, so he focused on racing. But at the same time, while he was focusing on racing, he's kind of branding himself and the product that he's using. so his sponsors could see it, and you know, they like it, they post it. I see his name now everywhere, you know, and that's the way it works. Build your audience. If you're already sponsored, you know, you already know this, so you shouldn't, you know, it shouldn't be something. It should just be something of second nature in a way. But if you're already sponsored, you know, that's good, you know, and whatnot. And yeah, sponsors is always good. You get free stuff. But you know, sometimes free stuff come with a cost in a way. But yeah, you know, I give props to those who sponsor the builds. You know, whenever there's a sponsored build, for example, this one. This is the last sponsored build. There's no more sponsored build here. This one wasn't even sponsored at all, and I finished it completely. Brand new wheels, brand new tires, brand new servo, brand new electronics. There's no branding, there's no sponsorship on this build. This is all pretty much from my wallet. And that's why on my pages, that's all you see, sponsored by my wallet. This is the last sponsored build. And to be honest, there's only one company that sponsored this build. That's pretty much it. And two companies. And my friend donated the body. So only two companies sponsored this build. And you know, I like giving shout outs to companies that are real good and whatnot, but at the same time, I see it kind of, you know, obsolete in a way because they're just gonna milk, you know, your channel. So create a brand, build your audience, and get sponsored. And I think that covers everything. As far as updates for the channel, like I told you guys, I'm focusing on finishing my degree. I graduate December 15th. Here in San Antonio, Texas, and yeah, I'll be my school ends here in probably like I said, 2.5 to 3 weeks almost. Well, 2.5, 3 weeks, give or take, and I should be done. And by then, if you know, I'll be trying to do some portfolio work and whatnot, polishing up my websites, my designs, my graphics and whatnot. And believe it or not, RCMilitia was one of those graphics that made it to my portfolio piece. So they really liked it. They like my audience. Every career specialist that I spoke to says that that's kind of like leverage in a way, because you know, you have already that audience and I already have my brand. So it's kind of cool in a way. I really never thought about that, but it kind of fell into place. But yeah, once that's done, I'll keep doing, you know, builds on the sides. I know me and Jeremy have a live hangout to do, because he might pick up a new truck, and I still have that build to finish. So we might do a couple hangouts where we do builds and whatnot. As far as videos, like you guys saw that video that I posted not too long ago on the crawl with the San Antonio Crawlers. It was probably a couple minutes it took me to edit, but I did it on my phone, and I edited it on my computer. I filmed it on my phone and GoPro, and then I just edited it all on my computer. So it came out pretty good. And small stuff like that is what you'll keep seeing pretty much. I'm not trying to focus on big build videos. I think they're just there's people that actually do that, you know. I'm gonna do a lot of aerial videos, as you guys saw. If you haven't seen it, go to my channel, check out that last video that I have, and it's pretty much what I'll be doing. Maybe every now and then when I go out, I usually, you know, want to take the drone whenever I go out so I can get some nice footage and whatnot. But something that I probably might focus on a little more, because I like flying. It's pretty good. But not going to focus the channel on that. The channel is going to be the same format. It's radio control and motion. It's anything that has a radio control. It can be on the ground, in the air, like you guys saw, and that's what my channel is based upon, and it's what's worked out so far. So as far as content like that, every now and then you'll see it. Oh, like I was saying with the sponsorship and stuff, Go to events. I forgot to mention that, but go to events. Anytime there's an event, for example, Recon G6, they do so many events throughout the year. They just released their new calendar. If you're in that area, go to that event. Here in Texas, they hold one on May every year. Up north is probably 3 to 4 hours away from me. No, like 7 hours actually, or 8 hours, I think. About 8 hours away. No, I don't know. It's like 4 hours or so, I think, 4 or 5 hours. But they hold it there in East Texas, and if they're in your state, if they're in your area, go to one. You can get recognized even more. Say you have a cool build, and they're like, "Oh man, what's that?" You can be like, "Hey, I have it on my channel, and I really don't want to explain, but you can check on my channel. I have all the details there. Sometimes I forget. You can use it any type of pitch, and get noticed. So go to an event, any event that they have sponsors, or I know Recon G6 is sponsored by a lot of people. Not only Recon G6, RC4 Wheel Drive has events, J Concepts has events, RPP Hobby has events, Hobby Town, I believe, has events as well. There's always events. So just go to an event, get your brand out there, get your audience going, and you'll see the growth quick. And the sponsorships, they'll come in depending on the company. We've seen big radio control enthusiast YouTubers, which we all know, how they've created their brand, and probably now has over 1 million subscribers. And it's just because he created his brand. He created a brand, he built his audience, and now the sponsorship just fall in his lap. And this is talking with the sponsoring company. So the sponsoring company, which I spoke to, they told me exactly that. We send so-and-so $3,000 worth of gear because we know that so-and-so will produce this many views or this many, subscribers. So it just works like that. The minute you create your brand, the minute you create your audience, sponsorships, like literally, they will just throw stuff at you. They'll be like, "Hey, here, take my stuff, show it to the world." Just build your audience. There's several ways of building your audience. I mean, you just have to, there's a lot of like search engine optimization where keywords, just specific keywords, they get your audience going. So I try not to use a lot of them. I just upload videos, and that's what I like doing. I'll upload where I do, I'll upload where I go, and that's pretty much how it goes on my channel. But YouTubers like that, that's their main source of income, nothing else. So their main source of income is YouTube. So they have to put in the work. Me, my main source of income is not YouTube, because if it was YouTube, I'd probably be like in the dumps or something. So my main source is not YouTube. So if that's what you want your main source to be, go ahead, make a brand, build your audience, sponsorship, and then go to events. Start making events. If there's no events, make an event. Just make a random event at a local store or something. I know there's for example, the drift group here in Texas. When I went out with to drift events with them, they got a spot because they spoke to the upper management of the main one-to-one drift event, and they said, "Look, we do drift with RC cars. You mind if we put a little track? We put up our banners." And that's what they're doing. They're getting a name for themselves. They're branding themselves, not by video, not by social media. They're using to brand themselves by going to events. And by going to the event, they put out a carpet or some PVC, and they just ride around. A lot of people become interested. "Oh, that's cool. You guys got a Facebook?" "Sure. So-and-so. For example, this last video that I made, it was Halloween. Something I was doing for pure fun. I was just flying the drone, looking at the footage because I like it. It's pretty cool. You can see, what you're looking at on the screen. A lot of people. Do you have a Facebook page? Do you have an Instagram page? Do you have a YouTube page? Is this going to be on YouTube? I mean, I got questions asked left and right. And let me see. How can I see What time have I been on? I don't know. It doesn't show me. But I think I'm going to end with this. That way I don't make it too long in case people want to do the playback. Okay, so yeah, so a lot of people came up to me. Even after I put the drone away and I was closing my car, or actually I was going back to reach with my wife and my kids or reconnect with them while they were trick-or-treating, I had people coming up to me and they knew I was a drone guy because that's how I was the one flying it. But I put the drone away, so there was no visual. There was no drone or object to relate me with the drone. So they couldn't see a drone, but they saw me. And that's how branding works. You're doing something, they notice you, you get subscriptions, you get views. So many people ask me, so what I do? I'm not gonna tell them, yeah, I have a Facebook page under my name, Isaac or whatever, I'm gonna direct them to where I want them to be, looking at, which is my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, or my Instagram page, or my Twitter page. So I told them, yeah, RC in motion. Oh, RC in motion, I'll write that down. I mean, you can check the video right now. The video has over 400 views in a few days, and that was Halloween. And it's because, you brand yourself and you give yourself a name. People are gonna ask, where are you guys from? Like these drift guys, like the San Antonio Crawlers guys, they created a group page, but now it's a brand. Wherever we go, there's always going to be people asking, oh, do you have a Facebook or do you have a YouTube? And they'll ask you. So you make that brand. Worry about the sponsorships later. Like I did, I tried to get sponsored back in 2012. And I was like, I made a video, and then later, it's funny because I edited the video, I uploaded the video. 10 minutes after the upload, I deleted the video. And in the video, I was saying, I'm gonna make, I'm gonna try to get sponsored this year. And I was all like, I had a bunch of like RC driver magazines, and I was talking about, how I wanted to get sponsored. But then I thought to myself, I was like, I got nothing to show. I have to start doing some work, and that's what I did. I put in some work, got my video editing skills up to par in a way. It's still not perfect, but they're getting there. But I took that moment when I realized, what the hell am I doing? I'm trying to get sponsored without any content, without any work, with nothing. I'm trying to just push my way into the sponsors. And 10 minutes after that, I deleted the video. I said, this is a pointless video. So I deleted it, started working up my resume in a way. Builds, run videos, group videos, And I met this San Antonio Crawlers guy, and my content there just expanded. I started doing build videos. Then I opened up my Instagram page. My Instagram page blew out of proportion, 8,000 followers now. It's amazing. They like it. And then the sponsors just start hitting me up. They're like, hey, I see that you use our brand a lot. Yeah, I spent so much amount in a year of your brand, and this is just my money. There's nobody, oh, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. You want to get sponsored? Oh, that's awesome. They'll sign you up. Sign me up for a sponsorship. Sign me up. You have to put in the work. So with that, I think I covered most of it. Like I said, there's no professional terms, just personal experience on how it works. And if you don't have to take my advice, but it's what has helped me. I know it's probably worked differently for others. They probably pushed themselves right into a sponsorship quick. But from the people that I know personally, I've seen them build their brand and just rack up the sponsorships. I mean, rack up. So I think that we'll end with that. And I'll put these cars away. These cars usually don't stay out here. They hang at night or something. But hopefully you guys were able to understand a bit more about sponsorship branding and partner network. I know I didn't hit up too much about partner network, but in a way they give you good, they kind of help you out in a way. They give you good software, unlimited music, unlimited images or effects, whatever you want. And partner networks, the only downfall is that, depending on the network you go to, they will take a percentage away. It's kind of like, a commission in a way for them because they're helping you out. with free stuff. So it's kind of hand in hand with the sponsorship, you know. The sponsorship doesn't take away any type of commission, but YouTube, any other networks, they'll have a certain percentage. Some of them will just say, you know, after so many subscribers, we're going to take away this much, or after so many subscribers, you're going to get this much. It's all percentage. There's no dollar amount. It's all just percentage. So whatever views or like clicks you get, or there's so many ways of making money on YouTube. You know, a lot of people don't know about it, but it all depends on how you use YouTube. I don't use it as a personal gain because I don't care about the money. Honestly, once I think I got like $6 on my PayPal for I think like a click on something that somebody bought online on one of my clickable links. I got $6. I was happy as hell with $6 in my PayPal account. So I think I bought like some stupid screw that I needed. so you know, it works that way. But yeah, partnership, I didn't go too much into detail because unless you have like a YouTube page or something like that, then sponsorship is obsolete in this conversation. The conversation is based more towards branding and sponsorship, and follow that. You know, make a brand, build your audience, get sponsored out the butt. They'll come to you. You can ask all these big YouTubers, these big known names, probably use a different method. This is the method that works for me in a way. And you know, everybody else has their own method, but this is the method that I use and it worked. So with that, I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to comment or subscribe if you haven't, or just comment if you haven't. And let me know, what do you think? What do you think is the best way to sponsorship? I'm going to leave that question open. So feel free to comment if you watch the video till the end, which is right now. Let me know, what do you think is the best way to sponsorship in your eyes? Because I mean, this is just my method that works for me in a way. But probably you might have another one, or you can think of another one. But let me know in the comment section, and I will see you guys some other time, probably when it's cold, because I'll be indoors because it's cold out there. I'm not gonna go out there. I'll see you guys later.